Well, hello everyone. Hey. I'm Tio Knapp, and
I
this.
am Dr. Michael Gross. How are you? Thank you for joining us. We're having a lot of fun today. And I beat her to this.
Oh, no.
This is brought to you by Healing the Holes in Your Soul, a beautiful, wonderful book written by this wonderful lady, Tio Knapp. It's a story of survival and finding self worth, self love, and self esteem. It's not only motivational, inspirational, but it's also a book for great healing. It's a must read.
And I'm going to start with this one. Start with this one, you guys. This is a spiritual primer by the amazing Dr. Michael Gross. And if it wasn't for this man, this book written by this man, uh, that one over there that he's holding wouldn't even exist. And I'm thrilled that this has been out for over a year now. And I don't even know how long this one's been out, but I know that there's a brand new version coming out. You want to tell them really
Yes,
quick?
the spiritual primer, and the edition is the 12 manifestation protocols outline. And it's about 5-6 weeks away. It's going to the printer as we speak. So there's a whole process involved, but hopefully in the next 5 or 6 weeks I'll have it. So it's really great. And I'm prejudiced, but it's a great read. And I'll tell you, it really will help you to create a better life.
It has.
And I mean that with all my heart. So I just want you to know that.
And for all of you guys that are wondering, oh, what's happened to you, it's this book and the healing that's taken place because of this incredible man. So I'm going to put my book down.
All right.
And I can't wait for the second edition to come out. We will definitely keep you guys posted on that. So before we get started, really quick, we want to thank you all for coming today on our Sunday night message.
Yes.
Yeah. Michael's words of wisdom are always incredible. But first, what I do is I like to go ahead and introduce everybody to this amazing man who I speak so highly about. Okay, so Dr. Michael Gross is an author, professional keynote speaker, transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he has been on a spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, a spiritual counselor, and an incredible teacher. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has assisted others in their personal quest of self-empowerment, helping them to create the lives that they have long sought and to also bring forth their intuitive abilities. Michael teaches classes in spirituality, self-empowerment, Reiki, and other modalities. And just to, because I didn't say it earlier, we don't script anything other than this little page, okay? And that's why I'm reading it. I want to make sure he gets the credit that he so highly deserves. Okay, back to this. Okay, this
All
is
right.
my formal part, huh? Okay. In concert with God, the true source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. He remains humble, knowing the work that he does all comes from God, the true source. Michael lives in Lakewood, Washington, and is thrilled to announce the launch of his nonprofit. And I'm going to let Michael talk about the
The
nonprofit.
International Institute of Self Empowerment, or as we affectionately call it, TISE, TIISE. And it's all about a beautiful organization, 501c3, to assist abused women, children, and men. And it's a wonderful concept and idea. It has 12 arms. Everything I do seems to be in 12 spiritual primary, and the 12 spiritual laws, the 12 manifestation protocols. And so, having the honor and privilege of working with this beautiful soul and realizing her journey through life, I decided the first item we'll be working on is helping abused women and children. It's really, and I look at it, it's phenomenal. It's going to change a lot of lives. But I also look at how much work is involved. So I've invited her to be chairman and a head of abuse, working with abused women and children and men. You know, when we think about it, um, it's, you get an abused woman, usually has 2 children, she has no place to live, she's frightened, has no money. And so our intent is say, okay, we're going to put you up in a hotel or motel, whatever's handy. We're going to then find an apartment for you to live in. And we're going to do some counseling about self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem, help you find a vocation and a job that you so desire, work with your children because we don't want history to repeat themselves. So it's a big undertaking, takes a lot of money, And so if you're interested to help donating to the 501c3, we would appreciate it. And it's all about assisting those who have lost their way. I just wanted to pass that on to all of you.
Perfect. Absolutely, gosh darn perfect. So, on that note, it kind of goes into our topic, right?
Right.
Our topic today is critical thinking, and I'm going to go ahead and mute myself
All
and turn
right.
the floor to you.
So I thought I'd talk about critical thinking because I've watched some things that are going on in Facebook and interviews. And there was something, this is not political, so please don't think that way. I'm trying to be apolitical, and apolitical means being neutral. Whatever my feelings are politically, those are my feelings. But being apolitical, trying to be neutral. And they were interviewing this person, and they said, "What do you think of what had happened?" And this person said, "Well, this guy did this and this and this and this." So, okay, what proof do you have? Well, he did this and this, but what proof do you have? Well, I heard it on TV. What proof do you have? I got to go now. And the person walked away, and another person did the same thing. And I started thinking of it's great to have an opinion and a thought because we always have an opinion and a thought, and we have diverse opinions. You may like one restaurant, I like another restaurant, whatever it may be. And that person that likes one restaurant and I don't like it, but I like the one I go to, it's our personal preference. And we have to honor and respect that. You know, I made a huge dinner party, and I put in mushrooms, and I never bothered to think. Person said, I hate mushrooms. I don't want mushrooms. So what I did was pick it apart. There was another time that I made a huge potato salad. And this person said, I don't eat onions and eggs. So I made a separate potato salad without onions and eggs in it. So, you know, we accommodate for one another, and we have to honor it. And just because he didn't like the way I made it for everybody else, I respected him. And that's the point I want to make is that critical thinking is to look beyond what you're told, not to embarrass a person, but does this really ring true or not ring true? And then I look at the news. So it isn't really the news that I grew up with. You know, Dan Rather and all the others, they reported the news. Now, we're all a little biased when we give the news because that's a natural thing. But when I look at the news today, it's someone else's opinion. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. What is wrong with it is it's not the news, it's someone else's opinion. Or you say whatever the news is, and this is my opinion. Or someone said to me, they asked me a question. Oh, do you like my outfit? Well, I can do it this way. The outfit looks beautiful. However, on you, I think perhaps you might consider another outfit. Of course, I better duck because the person may be a little unhappy, but when they ask me for the truth.
You'll see a flying shoe.
Yes, duck.
Yeah.
But what's really important with critical thinking, when you see something on the TV or in social media, or you're dealing with someone, respect them, listen to their thoughts. And then you ask politely, well, can I express my own opinion and ask you some questions? That's a very gentle way of saying, well, I'm not sure that I believe in what you're saying. And at the very end, you could agree to disagree and still be friends. But what we've seen over the last several years, families split with one political party and the other political party, and they don't want anything to do if you're this political party or that, and they don't want to talk to you. And I went, oh my gosh. I remember reading about the Civil War, the North, versus the South, and families were split up. And, if we really look at about it, anti-slavery, which there's no doubt ifs, ands, and buts that slavery is wrong and never should exist, but it's really also part of an economic system. And we have to look at all the things that are going on. So we always think economically, which boils down to money, 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 money. And that becomes one of our false belief or gods because we worship money. Now, if I said to the person, you worship money, money's, oh no, I just enjoy this $2 million house, my $150,000 boat, my $80,000 car, and on and on and on and on and on. But no, I don't worship money. Well, just because that person has all those beautiful things and he or she surrounds them with it, what kind of a person is she or he? And the answer is that they just want to show off their wealth. It's different if they say, I just enjoy these things, but do they really mean it? You know, the Native Americans have a saying. And the saying is that enjoy wherever you are, like your home or whatever. And when you're through, put it back the way you found it and move on. And the truth is that we can never really own anything. That's critical thinking. How can you not own your house? Yeah, well, try not to pay your real estate taxes and see how long you own it. Think about
Wow,
that.
yeah, no kidding.
So everything is on rental if you look at it that way.
Even your children.
Yes, even your children. That's right.
Sorry for interrupting.
No,
but
you're
even your
right.
children. You don't get to keep them.
No, you don't. And you really don't want to keep them because you want them to experience life. So critical thinking says, how do I interpret what people are telling me? If this is really true. Now, it could be a true statement according to their research, but does it really ring true with you? Does it fit into your life? Not that you want to criticize them. So you meet these experts, and whether they're experts, they have a PhD in whatever, and they pretend to be an expert. Well, maybe they're an expert in their field, but I'd like to share a story. So back in the late 60s, they called them the whiz kids. And that was when Kennedy became president. And they discovered they wanted to take all these college professors in business who had their PhD. And what they did was the board said, oh boy, they're bright. So what they did was take all these PhDs and make them presidents of corporations and took the current president and they moved them down the ladder or maybe removed them. You know what happened? Corporation began to suffer. The reason a lot of them suffered was theory is great. Actuality is a lot different. Critical thinking. So here you have a president who probably worked his way up in those days to becoming president, knew every facet of the company and knew what the company needed. Rather some of them, somebody that wrote a textbook and said, this is the way you run a company. But they had no practical experience. So critical thinking says, based on what you've learned, what is your truth and what is correct? Not what someone else says. Now, we all have prejudices like, I like this car, you like this car, I like this restaurant, you like this restaurant, I like this clothes. That's wonderful, but that applies to you alone. And critical thinking says, examine everything that someone says and see if it rings true. And if it isn't, then, discuss why you feel it isn't. Or if they refuse to listen to you, say thank you very much and move on. So what's happening today is with critical thinking, if you disagree with somebody in a very polite and tactful way, what is occurring is you're attacking me, you're putting me down, you're mashing or saying negative things to me, and you're bullying me, and they go on and on and on and on and on. Critical thinking will say, wait a minute, what are they doing to me? What happened to free choice, free will, and free speech? The reason I'm addressing this at this point in time is we have to look beyond what is going around us and understand what is happening to us. Everything has a payoff. And the payoff means, eat too much food, you'll gain weight. Eat too much sugar, maybe your teeth will, get rotten or you get diabetes. So we have to look at when somebody is voicing their opinion, what is their payoff? Are they enlightening you? Are they giving you knowledge? Or are they just regurgitating what they heard from someone else? And it's so very, very important that we look at that. And the most important thing critical thinking says, what happened in the past is not necessarily to happen now. And we need to look at that. So whatever the accepted norm was. And, I see some ads on TV where they're going to the hospital. And I saw the mother dressed up with white gloves, getting in her 1950 car with her child. Child was dressed up and then driving to go see the doctor. Wow. And that's what we did. We got dressed up. We went to the movies. We got dressed up. So everything's changed now. Even when I go in the bank, they used to be dressed up. Now they're in jeans and whatever they're doing.
It's true.
But the most important thing is when I talk about critical thinking is What right type of respect do you have for someone? When you go to address them, they're in jeans and torn jeans and whatever the style is, and they have all these crazy tattoos and so on and so on over their body. Now, there's nothing wrong with a tattoo, but some people carry it to extremes. And you look at that person and say, well, I mean, where are they coming from? How can I respect them? Well, they're showing their individuality. Now I can understand that and honor their decision. But what respect do I have? Is still today, when you address a person that wears a tie or shirt or a woman that's neatly dressed, you have more respect for them. And how do you feel about yourself when you're wearing a suit or you're wearing a beautiful dress? You know, sometimes when I'm shopping at Costco and I look up at a woman, she's got a beautiful outfit on, and I go, everybody looks at her. It's like, yeah, you're telling the world who you are and that you are a business person or very bright and intelligent. And you have to be bright and intelligent because you got to back it up. The bottom line in everything I'm discussing with you is the critical thinking says when somebody says something to you, think about it for a moment. Don't react. That means your button is pushed and you're attacking. You know, the fight or flight or frozen syndrome. But critical thinking says act, think about it. And that's so important. And I thought I'd share one more little story. There was a gathering that I was having, and I had announced it on Facebook. And a very dear friend of mine, he agreed to have it over to his house. And it was a beautiful area. And I posted on Facebook. And then he contacted me and screamed and yelled at me, "You've given out my address, you've done all this stuff." And he went on and on and on and on. And I could have attacked. I said, well, I don't think you really read it correctly, but I understand. And, you know, if you wish, we don't have to hold it at your place. It's fine. I understand. And he wrote back, you know, I don't understand. Well, if you listen to the Facebook, it said, I'm having this affair and it's by the water, and contact me at my email at blah, 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 blah. And I mentioned that to him, but he didn't listen. Well, 2 days later, he kind of apologized because he's reacted. Someone in his family said, oh, Michael did this and this and this. And it's like I said, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm not that dumb that I would do that. And he did apologize. But for a short period of time, there was part of me that was reacting instead of acting. And I bring that out because this person is a very loving and caring person. But whatever pushed his button, whomever did it, he didn't bother to really listen to the Facebook. And there's so many things that we do, we assume. Critical thinking says you assume. You know, you make an ass out of you and me, assume. So think about that. Think about when somebody's talking. Don't accept even what I'm telling you, or even what you see on or hear on radio and TV or someone else says. Remember, it's someone else's opinion. And if you understand where they're coming from, there's something that's pushing their button. And there's someone that's influencing them. And, you know, as we go along and we're growing on this planet and learning many things, I have a favorite Italian restaurant. And when I go there, I know the man's name. And I said, how'd you learn to cook? Oh, I learned to cook from my mom. And he had a couple of restaurants. This is very successful. But he makes everything from scratch. Doesn't have all the degrees, not a master chef. In my eyes, he is because he's a wonderful chef. He created all these dishes. But he had his passion. And that's what I want you to think about critical thinking. What is your passion? Whatever you're passionate about, you're going to do well. You're going to exceed at. Because what's driving you is not fame, not fortune, not money. What's pushing you is that you want to have the joy of sharing something with someone.
Can I add something to that?
Sure.
When you follow your passion, that's the one thing, and you guys probably know how much I love photography, right? Excuse me. When you can spend all night long working with photos, or for me, it's like it heals my soul. It's like all of a sudden here I am looking at the clock and thinking, wow, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Why am I not in bed? Right? Excuse me, I have a cough. Of course I do.
That's okay. She's going to hit the bottle. But I assure you, everybody, it's not vodka. It's pure water. And I'll just fill in for why she's doing that. You know, her passion is photography, and she's gotten lots of awards. She's been on TV for the big television stations here with some of her pictures, and got lots of recognition. But that's not what's driving her. It's her passion. So I'll let you continue.
Yeah, pardon me for that. But here's the thing. When there's something that you love to do, then you know that no matter what, nobody can judge you. Okay, you know you're doing the best because it's what you love to do. And that's the thing. When you're using your critical thinking, you're not looking at your passion to make money. Okay, I mean, great. If you find a way to make money with your passion, heck yeah. Because if you love what you're doing, you're getting paid for it. Why not, right?
Exactly.
But at the same time, whether it's photography, whether it's cooking, whether it's like that beautiful restaurant that you talked about, I know the restaurant, excellent food. But here's the thing: when you love what you're doing, that resonates in your soul, and that energy brings forth in what you do the rest of the day. So you know you're going to have to do some things that you're not always that fond of doing. You know, I mean, laundry gets boring. Going to the grocery store gets a little old. But the thing is that when you know that after you do the stuff you don't really want to do, you also have in your day something exciting that you love to do. So when you use your critical thinking, you can map out your day in a way where you get the good stuff too. And you can maybe like hire somebody else to clean the house if you don't like cleaning the bathtub, stuff like that. And when you're spending your time wisely, then you also find out that you're spending more time with the people that you know and love. Consider the source of the information that you get. That was the other thing I wanted to say. Because we hear so many things, whether it's on the news, it's on the internet, word of mouth, whatever, but don't pass judgment on someone else when they're sharing knowledge with you until you consider the source. That's their opinion, right? Maybe they don't like mushrooms either. It's okay. But respect their opinion. Don't condone them for their opinion, but also understand that that's their opinion and that might not be coming from a valid source. I could go on and on about critical thinking. All kinds of stuff has happened in our lives. But I wanted to let you know that for me, when you look at things and life can get in the way, and life can be incredibly overwhelming, and sometimes you sit there and you do start wondering, why am I even doing this? Why am I even doing this? That's when you really need to tap into that passion of yours. Because when life gets really off key for me, I grab a camera and I go out there and I find one of my favorite places. And it's amazing when you get out and you start feeling the relief of not having that stress, even if it's only for an hour or even 10 minutes. Sometimes you can just be in the moment and enjoy where you are, because we only get that time once anyway. So thank you, Michael.
Well, thank you for your words of wisdom.
I apologize for the coughing, but I get excited and then
I have a friend, Julia, and she loves cleaning houses.
Oh, she can come
loves
over.
cleaning houses. I go, boy, you're nuts to myself. But that's her passion. And you know what? She's phenomenal at it. Her husband and sister, he loves doing that. And you know what? Because that's their passion. They were voted in Pierce County, where I live, in Washington, the #1 cleaning company. Not because it makes them money, which it does, but it's their passion. So it's not a labor of chore. It's a labor of love and joy. And that's what we need to understand. Going back to critical thinking, it's time for us to take a look at our life and see what really, really brings us joy and happiness. And what is that person saying to me? They're expressing their opinions, which is true. But does it come from their heart, from critical thinking, or does it come from influencing someone else? And we have to begin to look at it. So I wanted to share something because this is September and the year is 2022. And the reason I'm saying that is because someone may be looking at this podcast in 2023 and or 24. But there's something occurring astrologically wise. And I don't profess to know a lot about astrology because I don't have the patience, not my passion. However, and the few people that I know that are really accurate, they have told me that over the next 7 months that we have a decision. Is our soul going to move into higher spirituality and love? Or are we going to stay in fear, doubt, control, manipulation, fight or flight, or frozen syndrome? And I said to her, well, okay, so we got 7 months. And if we look at this right now, we're looking approximately at April of 2023. Then I said, what's going to happen to those who don't embrace it? And she said, well, they'll just be left behind. I don't know what that means. So in our critical thinking, you want to attract people who think like you, who are on the same wavelength. Now, I'm not saying that they're judgmental and they hate this party or that party or this person, but are seeking to become more enlightened, more loving, and more caring. There's only two energies on this planet: love and anything that is not of love. Now you can break it down. Someone else will say, well, you got to break it down and down and down. Yeah, you can. But in essence, the short version is you're either a loving person or you're not. So one of the pieces I wrote, and I want to read it again to you, just a short couple of lines. Love and life are intertwined with one another. There is no life without love. There is no love without life. There is no forgiveness without love. There is no love without forgiveness. Think about that in the days to come. So I want to thank you very much. And think about what Tiyu and I have discussed with you. To follow your passion and critical thinking, not what the masses say, but what feels right in your soul and your heart. It may be what the masses are saying, or maybe not. But now it's time for your voice to be heard. Speak passionately, loving, but kindly of the way you feel. So I want to thank you, and Tiyu's given me the sign that our half hour is up. She's hidden her baseball bat. If I talk too long, she'll bring it out. So I better stop.
It's in the car. No, but seriously, when you hear it from your soul and you know that it's the right thing to do, there is an element of confidence that comes out. And I am so thrilled that you woke up my soul so
Thank
I could
you.
understand, that's where the love starts. And that's where we begin to spread it with others. And on that note, yeah, we could talk about love on another topic, huh? We did
Yes,
that
we
not
can.
too long ago, but we can always talk about love. So thank you so much for giving us a part of your Sunday night. And we always keep our Facebook Lives up there. We're also on Michael's YouTube channel.
Yes.
He's so cute. Dr. Michael Gross, or Dr. Michael B. Gross,
Yes.
on his YouTube channel. And you can watch all these recordings there. You can also listen to his 10-minute messages that are slowly starting to come up on his YouTube channel. We've got a lot of wonderful messages for you there. And here's the thing I really want to encourage everyone to jump on. Tuesday night at 6:30 Pacific Daylight Time, Michael does a call in. Would you tell the people a little bit?
Right. Every Tuesday night from 6:30 p.m. to approximately 7:30 p.m. We run over a little bit. I call it Words of Wisdom. So the first part is you ask any questions about spirituality. Hopefully I can answer them. And then the last 10 minutes, I deliver a motivational message. And it's really, really important. And what I would suggest to all of you is come on and join us. Ask questions or just listen. See if it rings true. You're going to learn so much. And I learned a lot by the questions everybody asks. I'm going to get more comfortable here. So I want to thank you and ask you to join us. And at the same time, the second Saturday of every month, I have what I call Mass Consciousness Healing. That is so important because we need to heal our soul, our hearts, and our minds. And it's all about a meditation, which I talk for 3 to 4 minutes, and then we're in silence in the last 2 or 3 minutes. So it's the second Saturday of every month, and it begins at 9:55 a.m. Pacific time and goes to approximately 11:01, 11:02 Pacific time. And I'd like to give you that there's a telephone number for both of these, my Tuesday evening and for the second Saturday, and there's an access code. Tia, would you share that?
Sure. The number for the Tuesday night call and the Saturday morning meditation is 202-926-1059, and the access code?
125-446 pound.
One more time. It's 202-926-1059, and
The access code is 125-446 pound.
Alrighty. And for the recorded calls, you can access these 24/7. Anytime you are feeling a little funky, anytime you're stuck in traffic and getting grumpy, funky grumpy,
I like it.
then dial into this number, 434-300-4170.
And the access code is 125-446 pound.
I'm going to make sure that all these numbers are also in the comments, okay? So most definitely write them down when you
Yes.
have them. One more time, that recording is 434-300-4170.
And the access code is 125-446 pound. And it starts with number 3. And what does it go up to? 265, did you say?
I'd say 250, 260. Go to 260.
All right, somewhere between number 3 and 260. Don't worry about it. Your soul will pick the perfect one that you need to listen to. How do I know that? Because the feedback I get, I listened to number 27, just what I needed, Michael. Or number 301, or 201, just what I needed. Just go with it.
Just start dialing the number, and the number that you need to plug in when they're asking for the recording number will be the number that comes to your mind.
You're absolutely right.
On
Thank
that
you.
note,
And that note, we
Did
have a
it
little
again.
competition, whoever brings up the book first.
You're buying dinner.
All right. So we'll go to Mickey D's.
Oh, okay.
So everyone, I just want you to know, how they do an advertisement. Well, this podcast is brought to you by Healing the Holes in Your Soul by Tia Nat, an inspiring book.
And the Spiritual Primer by this amazing gentleman, Dr. Michael Gross. I highly recommend this book. There's things in here that are golden nuggets, and you really, really, really should start right here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Everyone have a great week. And remember you are unlimited. Namaste.
Namaste.
Take care, everyone.
Night.
See you next week.